When my emotions are so heated, it can be really hard to act the way I keep telling my kids to act. Hi everyone, welcome back to the Vibrance Club show here in the Cloud Dojo. I'm Corey and this is your spot for inspiration on living a healthy, happy, and vibrant life. So today we're talking about big feelings. I don't know about you, but emotions can run high in my family. And so we had to learn pretty early on, how do we deal with that in a way that feels good for everybody in the long term? Maybe not in the moment always, but in the long term, keeping a healthy, emotionally stable family was a huge priority for me. So I did a lot of work early on to figure out how do we handle this, and I want to share my tips with you today. Thing that we decided in our family is that when emotions are running really high, it's just not the time to solve the problem. That one principle has carried over and helped in so many scenarios in our family. So for example, if my kid didn't get their way and you can tell they're pretty upset about it, a lot of times they want to fix it and feel better right then. So depending on their age and their personality, they might start arguing, getting really heated about it. Sometimes they can just be so good at but this and that, and kind of giving you their rundown of why you should listen to them, and it's very heated. Or they might just fall apart and scream and cry. But whatever it is, I notice they're trying to still work it out and get their way in the moment. And so our family rule is just, if you're feeling really emotional, then the only option is to take a break until you calm down. So they're getting really heated. I just simply say, I feel too overwhelmed to hear this right now. I can't work this out with you. And they just know, it's time to take a breath. And so they may sit there and be really upset and emotional, but they just know that we're not going to move on until they're calm. Now, it seems like that's putting it all on the kid, but it's actually putting it on the grown-up as well, because we sometimes want to solve that problem for them really quickly. They're freaking out and we try to reason with them in the moment, right? We're I catch myself doing this still, right? We go, oh, but just think about it. You didn't do this thing, and so of course you get this consequence. Or, you were the one who did the thing, and now you're upset at what happened. And we try to reason with them in the moment, but that's not the right time. So I am personally of the philosophy that it's okay to feel feelings. It's just not okay to harm others with your feelings. So what I coach my kids to do over time, and it takes time to get them to get used to doing this, but is to feel those feelings in a safe way that's not hurting anyone. So the feelings are totally allowed, and we don't try to rush over them. We don't try to fix them. We don't try to patch them up and solve the problem. We're I am witnessing your feelings. So when they start screaming, crying, I just say, I see you're really angry. And that actually can often help the temper tantrum calm down more quickly, just being a witness to them. And other ways to be a witness are to just sit there and be silent. Just if they're screaming and crying, it's okay if it's in public. I think we all need to get over the fact that everybody has to be quiet all the time. Sometimes kids get upset, and if you're not screaming back at them, it's going to calm down so much faster. And maybe it's a public place where it's really not okay, and you gotta just pick them up and take them to the car, and then hold space for them there. But I just let my kids cry, and I let them get their feelings out. But I don't let them say mean things to me, and I don't let them hurt me. And if they do, I find a way to get space. I may have to actually walk out of the house sometimes and stand out, on the sidewalk and just take a breath, depending on the age that they are. Or go to my room and say I need space because you pinched me or whatever it is. And so I need to calm down now. So we give them space, we hold space if they're not hurting us, and once I take space, I'm not gone very long. I come right back, especially for the younger ones, and I'm just I want to come back. As soon as I feel safe with you, I want to be with you. And I give them a chance to learn, okay, That pinching got nothing, like that got a removal of stimulus. Mom left, there was nothing there to reward that behavior, even in a negative way. She was just gone for 30 seconds or a minute, and then I come back and I say, I see you're really mad. I'd love to sit here with you, and I just need to feel safe. And as long as they're doing their thing and not hurting me, then I come back and I stay there. So I let that happen. I'm there. I'm as supportive as I can be. Now, maybe they don't hurt you, but the screaming is just too much. You can also take a break, at least in my opinion. You can say, I really want to be here with you. I see you're really angry. I want to support you, and I feel overwhelmed. I need a break. Take your break and then just come back as soon as you're ready. I think that sends a really positive message to kids. Quick reminder, if you're not subscribed yet and you like tips on parenting and lifestyle and all sorts of good ways to live a healthy and happy and vibrant life, please be sure to click that subscribe button down below this video so you can see more videos in the future. So once they calm down, then it's time to kind of go through what happened. I think the first step is hear from them. Let them find words for why they were so upset. Just to, even if like you're right and you know the whole lecture that you could give them right now, I think it's helpful to let them figure it out too. Like, what lesson did they learn? See what they've come. And maybe they haven't learned a lesson yet, but at least it's teaching them how to express their frustration and their confusion and what they want. So then we work it out from there. And working it out is kind of a different video, so we'll get into that another time. But that's kind of how we handle the big emotions in our house. Is we do not take action when we have those big emotions. We just wait until they pass, and we hold space for them and allow them to be there and witness them while they pass. And we can be with other people when we're feeling highly emotional if they have the energy for it and if we are not hurting them. Now, the same goes for the adults. That's actually the hardest thing, to realize that we do it too. And somehow, at least I know for myself, I can sometimes feel justified, but like, I have to be here taking action while I feel really emotional because I'm the grown up and I can't leave. Well, whatever the reason is, most of the time I can actually take space when I'm feeling really emotional too. And it's hard, and you see how hard it is to ask your kids to do this when we realize like, oh, it's actually really difficult for me to say, I'm feeling overwhelmed, and notice, okay, I'm raising my voice is like louder. I'm not speaking as kindly as I would like to be speaking. Oh, I'm emotional. This is not time to be talking. This is time to take a break. And so even in taking a break, I try really hard to stay calm, not just huff off, but to say like, I'm feeling really overwhelmed. I'm gonna take a break. Yeah, it's a really interesting habit. We expect our kids to behave so politely, but I have a hard time doing it, and I notice it can be difficult as an adult to check your own self. So that's the other thing, is putting that rule for ourselves as the grown-ups of saying, okay, I can tell when I'm starting to feel tension. And my kids have said, like, when you guys are upset with us and you're like raising your voices at us, that's worse than a consequence. So what we do in our family, and this is just the way we do it, and I'm sure there are a million other ways, but it has had really positive results for us. And I think there's some good research behind it. We say, as soon as we notice that tension or we start to lecture and get our voices raised high, we just say, I'm overwhelmed. And we walk away and we get space, and then we come back, and we often do let them know what the natural consequence is. So let's say, for example, I had some special, I don't know, item that I was saving to give to a friend, and then one of my kids gets into it and eats it or uses it or whatever the thing is. So there is a natural consequence for that. So I see that happening. I feel like, what on earth are you doing? And I feel like raising my voice and yelling at them, but that's actually not polite. I don't want to role model that. So I say, I see that you got into that. I take the thing, I say, I have to get some space. I'm feeling really upset. And then I get my space and I come back when I feel ready, and I just tell them the natural consequence of their actions. So, that was something that was special. You didn't ask about that. and that's not okay. We always need to ask before we take something that's not ours. And here you're gonna need to do a few chores to earn some money to be able to buy a replacement. So that's a consequence that kind of is just natural. Like if you're gonna use something up that was belonging to someone else, you may have to pay for a replacement. So, or if a littler person, makes a big mess, you might feel really upset at the mess, but it's better to just take a break and then to come back and say, okay, like, you made this mess, and what we're gonna have to do, you're gonna have to clean that mess up before we move on to playing this game or whatever the next activity is. So making it something that makes sense for them and just is reasonable, I don't know, it just seems to make things flow a lot more smoothly in our family. And it's not easy, but I found there's a good payoff. So those are my tips on how to handle big emotions in your family. I hope they helped. I would love to hear from you. How do you handle those big emotions? What are some tips that you might have for others? Please leave them in the comments below for ways that you get yourself or your kids to calm down before moving forward when something big happens. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please like this video if you liked it and subscribe. Click that subscribe button down below and click on the bell if you want to be notified of more videos in the future. All right, we'll see you next time. Bye.